Now, Bitcoin, as I wrote in the Substack and I showed the chart, hey, I'm taking the train today and I'm thinking of taking a bike. Which one's faster? That is an answer bot. That is not a good way to use it. You need to build stuff and you need to be in this place.
Walk.
Yeah, exactly. So I think Bitcoin benefits from that because I think we're running into another issue that falls into Bitcoin.
Bitcoin is holding firmly above $70,000. It is behaving exactly like a store of value should when traditional energy markets are in turmoil. It has successfully decoupled from the beta of the stock market and is re-emerging as the premier hedge against the volatility of the legacy financial system. The safe haven play didn't fail. It just needed to be stress tested. Please take a little time to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more videos like this. You can also check out our other videos on cryptocurrencies and the overall digital asset space and drop your comments and observations in the comment section below. Everything you do helps with the YouTube algorithm and immensely contributes to the channel's growth. Thanks and enjoy the video.
Now, Bitcoin, as I wrote in the Substack and I showed the chart, for the last year, it's pretty much a direct overlay with two things: software and private credit. So as the private equity guys have fallen over, so has Bitcoin as this. So Bitcoin is doing, and the whole point of it was, I thought Bitcoin would be up a lot last year. I didn't expect the AI progress to be as fast as it is. And then as we got closer to the end of the year, I still in the back of my mind, when I was buying it at 100 and 102 and then 95 and all, my belief was that we'd still go higher because the agentic side was coming in and we'd see the network effects kick in. Well, we've seen the network effects kick in, and this is part of the good news when I get to it with the Middle East, which is stablecoin volumes they're growing exponentially. And the agents, Stripe, Ramp, credit cards this week for agents. Like, the agent world is going to grow, which means volumes are going to explode, and the digital economy, the crypto side, is going to happen. If you get a chance, read Stripe's annual letter. It's always a good read, but they talk about agent to agent commerce and where this is. So the bad news is that we've had a momentum unwind, meaning all the stuff that was leading us down, like software, has gone up. Well, Bitcoin was part of that camp. On the flip side, semis and a lot of things that were doing great on the AI, they've come down. So you've had a hedge fund unwind trade, which Bitcoin benefits from because Bitcoin is a proxy for the software and for the code world. That's the bad news. The good news is, to me, what's happening in the Middle East, there's a lot of talk about people moving into stable coins instantaneously. So whenever there's problems in the world, there's a move to dollars. I think Bitcoin benefits from that because I think we're running into another issue that falls into Bitcoin. If I'm right about private credit, I'm right about 98 or 2008. There obviously was no Bitcoin in 98, but in 2008, it was created for a reason. I think the private credit world and the transparency and all the issues that are going, when Goldman Sachs is down 20% off its highs, when it's underperformed the S&P by as much as it has, that historically is a time when Bitcoin is about to rev up and go, because that means the central banks and the treasury are going to have to come in. Because the one thing that I still want to say to everyone, this is a financialized world. The equity market is over 200% of GDP. If they allow equities to fall, and we're starting to get where private credit and the financials are dragging down the S&P. And I highlighted in my subscriber webinar that has not happened in the last 25 years, that financials went below the 200-day moving average and the S&P didn't eventually follow. We're just getting into the danger right now. VIX is going higher, credit spreads are widening. We're getting into that contagion mode. And once you get into a contagion mode, if we're a month from now and we haven't solved things in Hormuz and you have oil still sitting around the same levels, the S&P is going to be lower, in my opinion. And credit spreads are going to be wider. The private credit world is going to continue to worsen. And that means we're going to get closer and closer. And every single time the central banks have come in to defend some kind of a unwind of equities or an unwind of anything, and it doesn't just have to be the central banks doing something. It could also coincide with a China-US grand deal. It could also coincide with the Iran war coming off and oil going down at the same time that the central bank is forced to come in. That is usually when Bitcoin doesn't just go higher, but it goes higher at a beta that makes people realize. And the great news is for everyone. So I give you good news, bad news. Now, the great news, I think software is a dead asset. So everyone who wants to try and pick the bottom of software, go for it. This is not what you want to be doing in your life, because AI is going to disrupt most of these companies, not all of them, but most of them. You need a new growth asset. The crypto guardrails, the financial guardrails are quickly becoming the network effects. And I always believed that when we came out of this, it would be Bitcoin that would be the growth asset. And eventually all of the traditional finance world, including pension funds and endowments, what do they need right now? Transparency and liquidity. What does Bitcoin offer every single day? Transparency and liquidity. That's what the blockchain offers you. You don't get that in private credit. You don't get that in private equity. You don't get that in VC. You don't get that in commercial real estate. I think between tokenization and all of these movements, the end of this year, there's going to be a cry for more liquid things and more transparent things. So there's two things about those markets. If you break down VC, you break down private equity, you break down private credit. Let's just go through this. You've got companies that are either going to grow like VC and then eventually monetize. And if you get 2 out of 10, but those 2 are 10 baggers, then you're making money. Well, if companies don't grow to the size they used to grow, and then they actually peak and they start to decline. And I've mentioned like a company like Cursor. Now, Cursor's revenues are still growing, but when I hear people on X, most of the stuff is about how expensive it's getting now. Mm-hmm. We have never seen companies grow this fast, but also reach a point where there's competition in their world so quickly. So that's the other part is how long are you going to keep doing that business if there's another competitor? And I believe what has happened and this whole thing, we all know the lifespan of a company in the S&P 500 has been declining for a long time now. That is because of exponential innovation. And I think exponential innovation is what's crushing all of these things because long duration assets are about time. Mm-hmm. Do you have time to generate this? Do you have time for this to work out? And I'll say it again and again, that is the number one thing that has changed. And when you hear that in the singularity, in this world, what is equivalent now to a year of innovation is what used to be 10 years. By definition, that means every year a company that has a business is 10 years of competition built in today. And because of Claude Code, because of open, like the advancements we've seen just in the last 3 months, then when you add OpenClaw, NanoClaw, and Auto Research with Andre Karpathy put in GitHub this week, which I'm going to start uploading along with OpenClaw because I have an idea on how I can use that with my agents. I just think people don't realize that the ability of building stuff instantaneously, having a business right away is just faster than ever. And this extreme time difference is what people need to be in your head. If you're investing in something based on the long term, the longer it is, the more likely you're going to be out of business. And I just think that the markets are discounting that on long duration assets. If you're paying for the expensive side of Claude or even Perplexity, so if you're paying for Opus 4.5 and you're at the pro level, just go into it when this podcast is done. I know you hate it when I say do it now.
Yeah, don't do it now.
But I'm doing it now. Go in.
Hey, don't go anywhere. Stay
go
right
into
here.
a chatbot and say, go into GitHub and whatever thing you want. Like for me, if I wanted to, this is how I built my turbulence model. Just say, I want you to go into GitHub and find me a model for building a risk portfolio of my shares of what I own in my portfolio and how if I wanted to optimize it from a risk basis, I could do that. Something along those lines or do something simpler. It doesn't really matter. Just ask GitHub just go out there and go there.
The key for the active investor is to stop trading the fear headlines and start trading the rotation. When the market stops responding to good news, that's when you worry. But right now, the market is handling higher oil with ease, software is bottoming, and Bitcoin is standing tall.
If I go to GitHub and I create something, and let's assume it's on pace for $1 million this year. Okay, but it stops at $1 million. Okay, but I still want to grow. I just come up with another idea. Okay, this one's 40,000. Okay, let me come up with another idea. And these things are just running on their own. This is what's happening, is that the ability of creating 20, 40, 60, 100, because you have no people. It is literally just the code. It goes to an HTML site. You have to get it somewhere where it gets distributed. But the reality is with social media and everything else, you can do these things. I just don't think people realize that the growth is now going to come horizontally. It's not going to come with one company and one product just continuing to grow. It's literally how many great ideas can I come up with to arbitrage other people that haven't done this yet and do it from around the globe. And I think this is going to be the way business is done. Well, I want to make sure people hear this. I've said it repeatedly, but I've used an analogy now with business leaders, and maybe it's because they're business leaders and they understand this analogy well.
Leaders.
Yeah. So what I've started to say to people when they go, well, how do I start doing this? And I go, okay, let me reverse the question to you. What's your handicap in golf? And whether they play golf or not, they've tried it. Every business leader has. Business-wise, I got to play golf. It's like Japanese back in the 80s. Got to learn Japanese. All right, so let's assume 20 handicap. And I go, okay, so instead of saying, how do I get started with AI? What would you need to do to take your handicap from 20 to 10? And everyone immediately gets the right answer. Well, I got to play more. Okay, if you want to be part of the AI entrepreneurship, you have to start using AI not as an answer bot, but you have to start building things. You have to be a builder. So I finally finished my AI series, and for parents and things for their kids, I took a lot of time with this. My son has used it. He's built things for me. It is literally in 5 videos taking people from how to use Claude skills. I'm giving them the prompts too. And the only reason I'm giving people the prompts is because I don't want them to get caught that they don't know how to do prompts. I explain how you can build your own prompts as well. But more importantly, I want them to see the output that comes as opposed to, hey, I'm taking the train today and I'm thinking of taking a bike. Which one's faster? That is an answer bot. That is not a good way to use it. You need to build stuff and you need to be in this place.
Walk.
Yeah, exactly. So if things are really getting hard for you and it's like, okay, use golf. If you want to get better, the first thing you have to do is put in your reps. You have to use it every day and you have to start using it in a way that you're building stuff. 2 things happen when you build stuff. I don't care who it is. Whenever I've met someone who's never cooked and they make something, they are so proud when it comes out good. Of course. But that's the whole thing, is you have to take pride in what you can build with this assistant. It is the most powerful, unbelievable tool. And as someone who is constantly coming up with too many ideas, there aren't enough ideas. I don't have enough time in the day to use AI the way I want. So when we joked last week, I write a lot. I need AI to help me with the brainstorming part, to help me with putting the things together. The Substack I wrote this week, it didn't take me that long to do because I literally said, this reminds me of '08. This reminds me of 1998. Let's go through Bitcoin's history. What happened? When did it bottom after Silicon Valley Bank? When did it do this? I can do that in Bloomberg, but I wasn't in front of a Bloomberg. I was on a train to Philly. So I want to see how all this stuff happened. I want to know when it rallied, what went on. That is the beauty of using it. And trust me, this week or in the last 2 weeks, we got ChatGPT 5.4. It is fantastic. And again, I say this every week. It was like it happened with Claude 4.5, 4.6. ChatGPT 5.4 off the charts. So you people have to start using it every day. Do not fade this. And at a minimum, get your kids to do it. Pay attention. Go watch my videos. Everything's good.
Please take a little time to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more videos like this. You can also check out our other videos on cryptocurrencies and the overall digital asset space, and drop your comments and observations in the comment section below. Everything you do helps with the YouTube algorithm and immensely contributes to the channel's growth. Thanks, and enjoy the video.